Hopefully, I'm live. I'm going to do my traditional waiting for the stream to catch up with me. Good morning, everybody. Twitch looks good, excellent. Just waiting for the YouTube, which always has a little bit of an extra latency, but also I've noticed is a little bit more stable of a stream. So I'm sure that the extra latency is specifically to have a more stable stream. Hello, how's everybody doing? Hopefully good. Hopefully you're doing the best you can right now. I need coffee. Oh, somebody asked last Wednesday how many mugs I have, and I went through and I counted them, and I have 20 different mugs. It's a super common gift item in the United States. I don't know if it's as common other places, but yeah, I get a lot of mugs as gift, and they all have sentimental value. This one was not a gift. I bought this one for me because it has the International Phonetic Alphabet on it, and I am a linguist by training. Speaking of training, we have a model that we are trying to serve. So, to catch everybody up, I'm just going to pull up the Harvard Dialect, the New York Times Dialect quiz. There we go. So we are creating a virtual assistant that will basically give you a similar experience as the New York Times Dialect quiz, which is a multiple choice quiz. And you go through and you answer, where's the correct one? There we go. And you answer a lot of questions, and then at the end you get a map in the original New York Times Dialect quiz, which I'm not going to do, and then also the places in the United States where their language usage is most similar to yours based on the Harvard Dialect study data, which I think it was collected in like 2007, so it's a good 13 years old now. And we have actually that original training data courtesy of Bert Vox. Thank you very much, Bert. And we have used that to train a model, and it's going to be slightly different from the actual New York Times Dialect quiz because we have fewer questions, and also instead of having people do multiple choice answers, we are having them do open response, right? So the dialect quiz assistant will just ask a bunch of questions, you put in whatever your response is, and then that response is using fuzzy matching, which we did last week. I think we finished that up, associated to the closest answer in our database of answers. Here we go. And if none of the answers are correct, then it's associated with other. And then once that happens, we have our validated features. And the next step is to take those validated features and to convert them into the format that the classifier needs. So we have an XGBoost classifier that we trained like a month ago. I don't know, it's been a minute. And we're just using that as sort of the first pass. There's some things that we need to change with it. In particular, one of the questions that we're asking, I just never included as a feature, so we need to go back and handle that. That's for future Rachel to worry about. And the thing that we're doing right now is that we are taking these, oh, that's not right. We are taking each of these slot names. So these are how we're referring to each of the questions and the answers in the assistant, and associating that with the question number, which is what it's being associated with in the classifier. So first of all, let's get the actual question number for this. So it's question 050. So right here I have you all, which is the one of the slot values, and I want it to actually be the string that corresponds with the question number. The reason that we need the question numbers is, up in here we got it, yep. You gonna open? Just thinking about it, is we have this, this is the format that it's expecting the data to be passed in. So it's expecting a panda series that I think is named. I think these are the names of the series. So we're gonna have to figure this out today. And the text of the answer here, and then we're going to use the same encoder that we use to encode the data to train the classifier, and then encode the data and pass it on to the classifier. Andrew says, hi, thank you very much for your work. Can you please tell me if it's possible to teach a model on the fly with each added command by the user? Maybe you have an idea. Okay, so you're asking about sort of interactive learning, active learning, where the model is continuously being trained while the user interacts with it. So that's kind of. The Rasa way to do that would be to provide stories that are ways that the conversation might go. So let's look at the stories really quick, and then we'll get back to this. So the stories are sort of the ways that you think a conversation might go. Your assistant does not need to follow these stories exactly. So in your domain.yaml file here, config YAML file here, you have all the policies to say what the next turn should be. And the memoization policy is, hey, if we've seen this exact series of turns in one of our story conversations, use that. The form policy is for the form that we're using to collect all the information. The fallback policy is like, hey, if none of those things work, do that. And then we also have, I believe the mapping policy is, we'll take the most likely next turn based on the things that we've seen before. So it's not as strict as the memoization policy. It's a little bit more flexible. And the Rasa way to have an assistant continuously approve is first to train the minimum viable assistant, which is what we're doing here. Right now you can talk to the assistant, but the answers it gives won't depend on you. It's just like, it'll always give the same answer because that's what I was using for testing. And hopefully soon we'll get to the point where the whole thing does work. You ask the questions, you get the answer. And at that point, we'll switch to using Rasa X. So that'll let people interact with the assistant if they have access to the Rasa X server. And then you can very quickly retrain your model as you get more data and you, let's say, relabel incorrectly labeled intents. And that's the sort of iterative improvement, active learning, human in the loop process that we suggest here at Rasa. Yeah. Vishnu says, I've just subscribed to the channel. Welcome. Where do I start? There's lots of videos in this series to follow from this week. Do you need to complete watching all the old videos? Nope. You should be able to jump in right here, and feel free to ask any questions if you have them. I don't expect people to go back and watch all the live streams. For the masterclass series, I would say start with the first one and then watch them through because those are sort of more structured and in order, but this is just me working on stuff. All right, we're working on this. Okay, so this is what we want our data to look like. Right now, what we have is we have the slot values of each of our slots. Which is not the same as this text and is not the same as this text, but each of the questions correspond to a specific slot. Andre says, thanks a lot. Oh, you're welcome. Vishnu says, is there a chat logging mechanism / feature where I can save the chats from a customer? Yes, those will be stored in the tracker by default while the person's having the conversation. And Rasa X will take those conversations and log them so you can go through and use them to improve your assistant. I think there's a way to turn that off if you really need to, but that's sort of like the point of Rasa X is that you can go through and check your conversations. Yes, so I would say use Rasa X for that. Vishnu says, i.e. to save all the questions queries from a customer who visits the website. Yeah, Rasa X will handle that. It's got like a very pretty interface. We'll use it probably at some point next week. We'll probably do a session on setting it up. Yeah. All right. So what we need to do, what we did last week was we created this mapping. So this is what each slot is called in our assistant, and this is how we're saving the information. This is the question number, and these correspond to each other. So what I need to do is I need to find a way to get the value of that slot and then add it to a pandas series with this as the name. You're very welcome, Vishnu. Right. Yes. Okay, and the way that we get the slot is using this tracker argument. So Vishu asked about sort of like recording conversations in the short term. The tracker in the SDK is what stores what's happened in the conversation so far, and we can use that to get the value of this slot called bug, so whatever the user has provided for this slot value. And we know that they will have provided something for that slot value because we use this form. This is all data validation. We use this form here to collect the slots for each of the questions that we have. And because we have a form, we know that it will keep asking questions until it gets all of them. All right. So let's go to our IPyNB file just for me. Okay, so, and I think that I'm just going to so I'm pretty sure this is just going to be the one text string that is the value of that slot. How do I get, let's see, name, this isn't important. This is the class that it should be in from the original training data. So we can ignore that. We don't need to worry about that. I'm gonna quickly look up, because I want to make sure that those are names. Named series pandas. All right, no, okay, so that's the name of the whole series. Is it the index? I think that might be actually the index. I would say I'm a little bit less familiar with pandas than I am with the similar, the index axis labels of the series. Sorry, I'm a little bit less familiar with pandas than I am with R, which is actually what pandas is based on. So sometimes I'll be like, oh, this exists in R, surely it will exist in pandas, and it just doesn't. And that's always frustrating. So that's the index. All right. Does it need to be in order? Probably not, right? Because it knows that those are the names of each of the features. So this is a test case that I've saved out as a pickle, and I'm loading in here so that we can work from it. And we know that this one works because right now whenever you use the classifier, it just classifies this test case and tells you the same answer. Okay. I don't know that I've ever created a panda series from scratch. Panda series from... Oh, can you do it from a dictionary? That would be easier. Series to dictionary. Panda series from dictionary. I would like to convert this dictionary into a series. Here, I'll pull this over so everybody can follow along. All right. Data, I want to convert this dictionary into a series with a multi-index. This seems to work, however, all values are not a number. Okay, so it looks like here I can specify what the index will be. All right. Noted. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two objects, and I'm just going to call them bug and say roly poly, and then I'm going to call, pick one of them and have that be highway, I think is another slot, and have that just be highway. Okay. All right, so we have the slot question key. Is highway one of them? Yes, highway is one of them. Bug is not, actually. So let's call that lawyer instead. All right, excellent. And this is, does the first syllable of lawyer rhyme with boy or law? I say lawyer. I think some of my relations actually do say lawyer. Sort of a southern feature. David says, what tool do you use for putting your head in front of the screen? I have answered that post in a dev.to. I wrote a post about that on dev.to because I get a lot of questions about that. Pull that up. So here's the post. It's my Livecoding setup, software plus hardware, dev.to RCTATMAN. So, and I think I tweeted about it a while ago as well. So that walks you through the whole thing. All right, so this is the information that we'll be getting out of the tracker. We'll be getting a string with the value of the slot in it. But the value of the slot doesn't matter. What matters is the name of the slot question key. So, what do I want to do? I think the easiest way is to do this is going to be loop over it and add an item and index to a series. I think is what I want to do. I think I want to add to the end of the series. Okay, so append is the command for that. Can I also append index? Also, I love PyData. This is awful. This is gosh awful. This is just not a good way to experience documentation. I'm sure it's like a reactive thing, but if I were on mobile, this would still be not great. All right, concatenate two or more series. Ignore index. Do not use index labels. Okay, so what we can do is we can make a series of length 1 and then concatenate it to the other series. And I'm pretty sure pandas series do not have the problem that our data frames do with memory allocation, that makes looping so bad. Oh, no, I was wrong. Append values to a list and then concatenate the list with the original series all at once. Okay, so it does have the same problem, actually. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I see. So this index is overwriting this one? Interesting. Okay. Wow, this is funky. Okay. I feel like there's a better way to do this. I feel like there is a more good way to do this. I mean, I guess we'll just like get started with the dumb way and then figure it out later, because we're just doing this once per user. The downside of that is that we're doing it every time. No, so we're doing this once per user once they finish the quiz. And then it's going to classify as well. So there is going to be a little bit of a lag while the classifier runs. And this will be adding to that lag, which is not ideal. I guess what we could do is at each step, we could do like a little message just to let people know what's going on with the assistant. so they don't get too impatient. I guess it depends on how slow it is, huh? Because if it's super slow, then it's going to make a pretty big difference. So I guess we should just try it and see how slow it is. Actually, probably the easiest way is going to be to create... Is the easiest way going to be to create a dictionary? No, sorry, create a series using the slots as labels and then replacing the index? Is that easy to do? I don't know. I guess what we could also do is take just the list of yeah, okay. I think the easiest thing to do might be to take the, okay, so what's this called? We have this slot question key. Okay, so slot question key. Is there a way to get all the values? Because right now we have all of the keys are in this. So this is a dictionary that has the slot name and then the question number. So right now we have the slot name. It would be easier to, honestly, it would probably be easier if I flipped these, given that I'm doing what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I want to get just all of the values out, and then for each of the values, look up the, it should definitely be backwards. The lookup time is going to be abysmal. I think I need to switch these. Maybe there's a quick way to do that. Can I just switch the value and keys of a dictionary? Switch value and keys of a dictionary in Python. This sounds like a good interview question. Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I want to do. 3x, you need to use items instead of editor items. Okay, so the reason that I want to switch this back and forth is because what I want to do is I want to have the index be these numbers, and then I want to use these numbers to look up the slot, and then use that to get the slot value. The reason why I want the question number to be the key rather than the slot being the key is because I'm going to look up by question number, and lookup time if it's the so it's very fast if it's the key because it's a hash data structure, but if it's the value, it's much slower because you need to look at all of the values until you find it, I believe. So I think the first thing that we want to do is actually invert the and I think this has actually got to be items instead of iter items. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that'd do it. All right. First thing we'll do, let's run the thing. Unhashable type list. Remember when I was like, it's probably just going to be fine that that we have these in a list? If you were not here last week, you would not remember that. Actually, I just want the, let's see, what does this do? Match whole word, not what I want. Match case, not what I want. Use regular expressions. For right now, I don't actually want to use regular expressions, and I also want to replace. How do I do that? All right. Replace with nothing. Replace all. Can I not do that? There we go. Oh, right. And then the other side. Replace them all. There we go. Okay. All right, excellent. So we had a problem where we couldn't invert the dictionary because it was Actually, each value was a list. Okay. I don't entirely see why you're being like this. There we go. Okay, so now we should be able to invert them. And then if we look at my dict2, yeah, there we go. Excellent. Okay, so now the lookup time should be much better. All right, and I'm actually just gonna copy and paste this and then replace this with this. Excellent. Okay, so now what we should be able to do is get all keys Python dictionary. Hey Elliot, how's it going? Keys. All right, so it looks like I can just actually use the all right. That should be good. So it looks like I should be able to just do keys. Oh, wait. What's it called? Slot something or other? Slot question key, and autocomplete isn't answering, and that's not ideal for me. Excellent. Okay, so now we have a list of all of the keys. And what I want to do is I want to create an empty pandas series using the keys as the index. Elliot says, are you able to edit IPNBs in VS Code directly? Interesting. Yeah, it's a relatively recent feature. I know that they were still scoping it out at PyCon 2019 in beautiful Cleveland. That's where that one was. Because I talked to some VS Folks code there, and it mostly works. Ever so often there's this thing where like the underlying code becomes desynchronized from the code that you see, so you'll be editing the code, but it won't be changing the underlying code, and you need to reload the kernel. But other than that, it's pretty nice. All right. So I need to pandas create list with nope, not a list, it's a series. Series with index. That's exactly the thing that I want. Reindex. Is that what I want? Oh my god, we're back in this. Oh, PyData folks, I love you, but this is awful. All right. Conform series to new index with optional filling logic. Places NA, NaN in locations that have no value in the previous index. A new object is produced unless the new index is equivalent to the current one and copy equals false. Right. All right, can I see some code examples? Data frame, reindex supports 2 calling conventions. Okay. What about for a series? Okay, so this looks like it's a data frame. It looks like it's a data frame method. Okay. All right. So I guess we'll just try and like create an empty series. Create empty pandas series. All right. Let's see. This is much better. Which version is this? 0.18.1. Is that a recent one? Surely yes. All right. Oh, it'll just tell you if it's empty. That's not helpful. All right. Oh, this is not a recent one. Well noted. Okay. I guess we can just... I don't think I've imported PD in this section yet. All right, so... hi, Robbie. Let's see. No, show me all my options. There we go. All right. I'm just gonna check through here real quick. See what's in here. Copy diff drop down. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that. You can check if it's monotonic. Keys, lost value, memory usage. Oh, that's another useful one. Learn all sorts of stuff today. Tile rename, change shift issue. Unique value counts. Cumulative max, index, kurtosis. All right, this looks more like NumPy stuff. So these must be like inherited, would be my guess. And then, what do these call? I never remember what the underscore are called. Native, hidden? All right, probably not ones we want to mess with though. All right, built-ins? No, they're all built-in. I don't know. I don't remember the terminology. I know there's a word for it. I know that I don't know the word. There's no way this is gonna work. Yeah, okay, so that didn't work. All right. Can I say that that's the index? Oh, I can. Fantastic. All right. Mystery solved. What am I gonna call this? Empty series. All right, so now I have an empty series where we have the index, and what I want to do is I want to use the index to look up the slot name and then get the slot. So for item in empty series, I just want the index to start with. That index? Is that gonna work? No, it does not. Can I iterate through the index? I can. Excellent. Okay. Helpful. Elliot's like, it's a you know what? I don't know either, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It definitely has a name. People have looked me in the face and told me the name in the previous. Robbie says Rachel knows object-oriented programming. Wow. Yeah, it's not. I've spent a lot more time working kind of functional-ish programming, I would say is probably my preferred style, but I do know. I have actually received formal training in object-oriented programming, believe it or not. It was a long time ago. Okay, so then we got the item. So what I want to do is for each of these items, this is not going to work because we don't have access to the tracker right now, which is fine. We want to, I want to change an item by index. Hoon says, hi Rachel, I really enjoyed your blue post. Oh, thank you. I have lots of opinions on it. What am I looking up? So, Panda series set by index. I don't know what I would call that setting. Reindex, not what I'm looking for. Reset index, not what I'm looking for. Set index, nope. change item by index, I guess is what it would be. Would be the item in the series. Series items, maybe? Oh, we're back in this one. Love to scroll. Lazily iterates over tuples. I think actually what I want to do is use this items and iterate over it and then set the value to something else. Can I do that? All right, let's see. So what was that? That was items. All right. And then it was sorry, I don't need parentheses there. So it was the value, and so it was the index and then the value, if I remember correctly. We can double check that. There's no point printing out index because it's just going to all be method object is not. Oh, there we go. Okay, excellent. So that worked. Can I don't think this is gonna work. All right, and then we'll see what the empty series looks like. I do not think this is gonna work. I think this is gonna be definitely weird. Yeah, okay. So what I was trying to do is just like change the value in the iterator, and that didn't happen. Oh, like dip-a-dip-doo. Can I access items by their index value? Surely there would be no point in having an index. All right, not a number. Can I say that it equals foo? Can I do that? And then look at empty series and see if that one is foo. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we can do it that way. So what I'm gonna do is, except this is actually the index. Yeah. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to look up slot question key dot index, and then we want the value. Get rid of you. I don't think that's gonna work. All right. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to look in this empty series for the index. We're looping through them, and then I want to set the value to be the item from slot question key, which is a dictionary, and I think I'm just doing the dictionary syntax extremely wrong. Let's do this one. Dictionary object has no attribute. What about that? Yes. We're so close. We are so close. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so what this will be doing is we will be looping through our empty series in slot question key dot keys. Okay, so what we're doing is we are looping through our, I can get rid of this, I can get rid of this, I can get rid of this. So we're looping through our series that we've created from our slot question key, where the index is the index used to refer to the feature by the model. We're creating an empty series, so all the values are not a number. Then we're looping through that series, and we are for each item in the series using the question key to look up the value. Yeah. Okay, so the big difference here, the one thing that we need to change is that right now this is giving us the name of the slot. Yeah? All right, let's try this one more time. All right, something's gone wrong. What does empty series look like right now? Okay, so it's an empty series. That's all good. Empty series.items. We're lazily iterating through. Yes. Where's the error? It's in here. Key error in... all right. All right. So it's not working. Why? Index must be called with a collection of some kind. Second person plural was passed. Oh, am I resetting the index and not the value? Harsh says, you need to remove the single quotes from index. Yes. Also, there's a little bit of a lag between me and the stream, so I'm not ignoring you. Thank you. I agree that that was the thing that I should do. Something is weird here. Okay, so. Let us clarify the precise thing that is weird. Q050 is not a number. Can we make it be foo? I'm gonna do that. So that is the correct syntax, and that's definitely the index. I'm wondering if, let's call this index value instead. I'm wondering if this is actually overloaded, like it's a built-in, and it's having trouble because it thinks that it's something else. Nope. Mysterious. All right, let's print the index value and just see what it is. Nope, that's exactly what I expected. Is this not a way to index into something? Because, okay, now it should instead just print a bunch of NANs. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay. Why not? Okay, also nothing. Is this a scope thing? Or is my syntax wrong? Alright, so what do I want to do? How can I clarify this into a Google question? I want to set series values by index inside loop. Replace values in Python data frame within a loop. That'll work because data frames are made up of series. You can write to the original frame using lock. All right, can you use lock with series? I guess we'll find out. Hey, Hockey, nice to see you again. Let's see, what did I call this? Empty series, right? Okay, so it's definitely a built-in. Accessed by labels or Boolean array. Can I do like so? No, that, I see how that would not work. No axis named, okay. Okay. We are definitely closer. I just want to do something little work, just real quick, just to make myself feel better about myself. Okay. Thank you. I needed a little boost. Geralt says use square brackets. Square brackets here. Invalid syntax around the index value, perhaps? Oh. Oh. Perhaps that was the answer. It was. Thank you, Geralt. All right. So why did that work? It's because we need to index into it with the index. So it's not an attribute like a name. So it's not a name, like, which would be an attribute of the item. It is a index location, hence the square brackets. Okay, I think that makes sense. I'm convincing myself that that makes sense. All right, so I should probably not call this empty series, huh? I should probably call this, I mean, it's the empty series right now, but in situ, it's going to be the encoded info. I think is better. Oh, it's not encoded yet. It will be. Formatted, I think, is clearer to make it. I think formatted is clearer about what it is that we are doing. Yes, excellent. We don't need to print nothing. I think I also do not need to change this from index value. I think I can just have it be index, and that'll make my lines a little bit shorter and a little bit more peppy, as it were. All right, excellent. So the one thing that we need to change right now, we are getting the actual name of the slot. What we need to do instead, get rid of that. That's like a scratch pad. Nope. The thing we need to do instead is to actually use tracker, get slot, and then that name. This will not work right here where we have it in our little formatty thing. Actually, I'm going to save this one that does work and then do another one here that won't work. This won't work. And leave myself a comment. The IPython notebook I'm in right here is sort of like my scratch pad, so I'm just using it to record things that I try, and will probably destroy it completely once the build is stable and I'm happy with it. All right. And then tracker get slot. So instead of what we're doing right now, which is getting the name of the slot, we're going to pass that into our tracker, which stores the state of the conversation, all the entities and all the intents, etc., and use that to get the information. And this should format our user answers correctly. All right. Okay, excellent. We already have a excellent. Okay, so the thing that we need to change, first of all, is our white space issues. Get information from the form. And what else are we doing here? Format it for encoding. All right, I think we are good to go there. And then the one thing that we need to change here is that we are not doing the test case that we are encoding. We are instead encoding the formatted responses. And the one other thing that we need to do is that we have dramatically changed our dictionary. So currently our slot key database, which is just a dictionary that we've created, is as it was in our Scratch file at the beginning, where it's got a list and the key is the slot name and the values are the question numbers. And we have really just done a number on it. And now it has question numbers is the key, slot names is the value, and nothing is a list. Doop. So let's just do a little sneaky copy paste. And keep your formatting. You didn't keep your formatting. You gonna yell at me about that one? Probably. That looks better. All right. Let's run the action server and see if we get yelled at. It seems likely. Blah, blah, blah. We're in Conda. All good. We need to change directories to the dialect bot 1, and then we need to run action. So this is going to run the code in our .py file here. It could be any arbitrary code you needed to run for your assistant to use. Right now, I think the only SDK we have publicly available is the Python one, hence why I'm working in Python, but you could use anything. All right. No errors. Great first step. Let's try it. Let's try doing this, because right now the way we're set up is that our assistant was doing all the classification and everything. It was just using the test case. And now that we have the formatting correctly and we have our encoding good to go, hopefully, we should be able to actually take the dialect quiz for real for the first time, which is very exciting. Which means that if this works, I'd give it even odds we run into a catastrophic error. Rasa shell, we can stop using it in the shell and start moving on to our Rasa X. Oh yeah, the joblet warning. Hi. Oh, I'm so excited. I would love to take a quiz. Love dialect quizzes, absolutely. I'm going to answer this truthfully and see how we do. I would call that a roly-poly. This question is not currently included in the classifier because I forgot it, and we're going to have to go back and do that. I'd say soda. I'd also accept Coke, but I'd say soda, probably. Y'all, the correct answer. And I could enter in any text here if it has sort of like more flavor around it, and then a slot that we recognize, then that slot will be extracted. Different. Actually, no, I can absolutely have spelling errors because we're doing fuzzy matching. Just match it to the closest slot, so I should be good. Akiko says it's alive. It is. I don't call nothing. I have no word for this, is I believe the way that is described. But again, I should be able to do anything sort of like, I don't know, and get that answer. What's it? Crawfish? Crawdad? Crayfish? Crawfish. I think crawfish. Crawdaddy would work. Do I call them... I don't. Do my cousins call them mud bugs, or am I hallucinating that? I might be... Nothing? No word for this. And of course we could have done this via buttons. Also, the lag here is a Windows thing that I still haven't gotten around to fixing, but it is it's due to the way that it handles webhooks. Let's call it a sub. I forget what I was saying. An access road. Oh, so the reason that the reason that you want a dialect quiz like this to be sort of open-ended, tennis shoes. Pretty sure that's my mom's word, and pretty sure that's from Missouri. Anyway, the reason you want questions like this to be open-ended is so that you don't push people towards one answer or the other, and they give like the genuine thing that they would say, because then you'll get the most accurate results. I call it a yard sale. Or a yard sarge, again, jokingly. Let's call that rubber necking. Oh, we're getting close. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. They're different things. I don't know if we have a slot for that. I think we might. We'll see if it gets matched to it or not. Lawyer. Kitty corner. Or catawampus, but I don't think that's an option in the original survey either. Firefly. I would call that a verge. brew through. This is the, I know for me in particular, this is the most distinguishable feature of my dialect. At least it is included in this particular thingadoogle. Water fountain. Oh, goodness. All right. Beans. I come from none. All right, that would be a cool line for a fantasy protagonist, but not what I'm looking for with this assistant. But looking at this, you can see that I did, in fact, get my answers matched to the correct answer, so that's good. Nerland says, what is your TensorFlow version? Oh, that's a good question. What's the conda command for this? I think it's like conda list. Am I right? I was right. Oh, I'm getting better at conda. 2.1.0. All right, let's look at the server. What happened? Slot question keys. Name error. Name slot question key is not defined. Oh, that's because we called it a database. That's because we defined it in a separate method. Well, dang. This was very avoidable. All right. That's okay. So, what we actually want to do is we want to get the slot question key database keys rather than the other thing. And then, again, here... Actually, I think what might be a little bit easier for us in the future if we wanted to keep futzing with this is to say that slot question key is the database. We need the parentheses because it's a function, otherwise it will just return the method that's like, that's a function. Yes, okay, so having the parentheses will run the function. All right, yeah. Okay, so, all right, we gotta save the actions file, we gotta restart our actions server. All right, actually, let's just kill them both. All right, so dialect. Weird white spacing. I don't know what that is. Dialect bot, and then we are looking for run action server. Actually, once we get it working, the next thing we should probably do is set up some tests, huh? I mean, we have our test case here, but that's not exactly the same thing. Change the dialect bot, because I don't want to do anything. Robbie says, I don't see any TensorFlow code. The TensorFlow code is all under the hood in Rasa. So you can absolutely write custom TensorFlow code. Yeah, our sort of philosophy is that it should just kind of work and be as useful as possible right out the box, but you should also be able to modify it as much as you want. I will say the big thing that I've had problems with, this is a Windows box, is with TensorFlow text, which doesn't have any Windows binaries right now, and one of our pipeline options relies on that, so I can't use that on this computer, which is a bummer, because it's a very good pipeline. It's like the convert thing that I did a video about 2 weeks ago. Let's launch our assistant one more time. Hopefully this time it'll work. All right, let's give it a shot. Hi. Yes, love to take quizzes. It's my favorite thing. Love to take the same quiz. But I will say I'm very heartened by the fact that it looks like all of our answers were correctly assigned to slots. So that's good. I'm just gonna try and take this a little bit quicker. Okay, reconnected again. Sorry about that. We've been having sort of a little bit of flaky internet. There's just like a lot of load right now. Access road. Oh my gosh. There's so many questions in this quiz. Tennis shoes. There are still fewer questions than there are in the full dialect quiz. In the full dialect quiz, there's like 125 questions, so this is a highway. This is a much smaller version, I would say. Okay. I think we've probably done like 11 or 12 at this point, so most of the way through. Rubbernecking. They mean different things. Lawyer. Boyer. Kitty corner, almost there. Gosh, I hope it works this time. If it doesn't, I might just call it a day. Firefly. My dad calls them lightning bugs. I think I picked up firefly from my mom. Does he call them lightning bugs? He's definitely said lightning bugs. Brew through. Yes, they're a thing. Water fountain. Come on. All right. Oh, interesting. So I have different words for these. Was mapped to icing. So that looks like something maybe we should check out later. Name, slot key DB is not defined. All right, I thought I fixed that. All right, so how are we interacting with our database here? Name of slot. So, Yep, that'll do it. So we need to make sure that we tell it where the function is. That makes sense. All right. Third time the charm. All right, one more. One last one, and if this one doesn't work, I'm calling it a day. But I think it will hopefully, yes, work and not no work, which is where we are right now. All right, so change dialect bot, run the action server. If you try to do this without running the action server, you will run into a problem when the form starts, because that's the first thing that we do in the action server. And then change dialect bot, and then we need to do in the shell. Riveting content, I know. I know, I'll handle job libs later. Oh, crunch. Yep. Love to take a quiz. Speed run. I don't remember the answer. I don't remember the order that these things are in. Soda. This lag is killing me. Y'all. Different. And my expectation is that I'd probably get like a Richmond, Newport News, maybe St. Louis is my top 3 cities. No word. Crawfish, because that's what I get from the New York Times dialect quiz usually. And also it's pretty accurate. The St. Louis is because that's near where my mom is from. Nearish. Getting there. So close. Tennis shoes. Highway. Oh, the song with highway in it that I mentioned offhand last week, I think, was, I think it's called Old 55. It's definitely an Eagles song. Yard sale. Speaking of American things. Sorry, things from the US. I shouldn't generalize America. Probably frosting. I prefer that it was frosting. Let me put it that way. Love a good buttercream. Boy. Rachel, it seems very tedious to do this by hand every time. Yeah, I know. I need tests. But right now it's not working regardless, and I want to start doing tests once I know that it do work. That's not very test-driven development of you. Nope. Sure ain't. Firebug. Fire lightning. No. Firefly. I can't. Verge. Hakito says, this reminds me of the test from Blade Runner. I saw that movie once, like a really long time ago. Isn't it have to do something with like pupil dilation? That's all I remember from that movie is the pupil dilation and then the something about the planets exploding. You know, that monologue with the guy's like, ugh, I'm as real as you are. It's thinking. Alrighty then. So... Okay, this is a new error. This is an error with the encoding. This is a problem for future Rachel, I think. So it looks like it is in the correct format. The encoder can handle it correctly, except we have a problem with unseen labels, which is a little surprising because it should have seen all the labels. So, and it did happen fairly far down as well. So that's, I suppose, a benefit. So that should be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it was the 7th thing that happened. So we know that the first 6 happened okay, which is good. So this is progress. I think we're gonna have to do bug fixing next Wednesday, unfortunately. But we finished the thing that I said we were gonna do, which is getting the user input in the right format. Hakito says it was something like detecting replicants for humans. Yeah. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Also, there was a guy with funny hair who yelled, or maybe that was the Fifth Element. I don't watch a lot of movies, unfortunately. All right. Thank you for joining me today. A little bit of a downer ending, but still good progress. I'll push these changes to GitHub. The GitHub link is in the YouTube description, and I can actually pop it in the Twitch chat as well if you want to check it out. And we will continue next week, next Wednesday, same time. And in the meantime, things to look out for, we will be I'll be releasing on Monday the next video in the NLP for Developers series, and we're going to be talking about tokenization. And I actually need to leave to film that because it's mostly done. I just need to do the filming and editing, which honestly is the less time-consuming part of this particular series. I mean, why is my chat not visible? I can see you, unless you mean with an assistant, in which case I would ask probably on the forums because we're wrapping up here. Thank you for joining, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you on Wednesday. I'll talk to you then. Bye.